Hello, welcome to Lefty Crochets and Mirror Knits. My name is Stephanie, and this is Finish It Friday for October 11th, 2024. It has been 2 weeks since my last episode because I wanted to finish the blanket, and I did. Here's where I started, and then it went through the body and kept going. Here's where I was last time, and I finished it. This is a full-size, call it a topper. There's no overhang, but it does fit on my full-size bed. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 skeins of the oldest yarn in my stash that has now been used, and I'm not going to admit how long ago I purchased that stash. Just know it has been long discontinued. That's how old it was. But it is now has been used up. I just have a ball about that big around that actually is going to be earmarked to finish another project that I had started a while ago. But this is finished. This was my oldest whip, and I am so glad it is done. The weather has changed a little. Instead of being 100 degrees, it's mid-80s. Yes, I do blankets year round. That's just the way I roll. So now that this big project's done, I can finish work on my next big project, which is another blanket. This was a temperature blanket, or rather the second temperature blanket. I made 2 because it was going to be way too long if it was in one blanket. So this temperature blanket, I'm almost finished. I think I've got about, well, let me rephrase. I've got about 80 rows left, which isn't too bad for me for this kind of project. But that's not all I do. I'm not a monogamous knitter. I decided to do a half and half washcloth. Start easy. Only the pattern called for 70 odd stitches. I did about between 60 and 65, I can't remember. This thing is bigger than any washcloth that I would ever use. I think it's going to be a doll blanket instead. But it is cotton, so I'm going to donate it. If they decide to use it as a washcloth, they can. If they want to use it as a blanket, they can as well. But I started this month. It'll be finished by the end of the month. I also did my 2 squares for Jackie Crochet ADHD's Hip to Be Square Mount. So here's my 2 squares. Yes, I have the tail because I wasn't sure which way they were going to go into the blanket, and I wanted to be able to have that option. And those are the big finishes for me. No, wait, I almost forgot. I'm doing a test knit, sort of. I'm in a group that has a pattern testing thread, and there is a designer who is going to be re-releasing a pattern for, she's going to use the proceeds for charity, but she wanted new pictures. I said, okay. Luckily, there was somebody else who said yes, who's already finished, so don't have to worry about it, because I ended up having a lot of issues. Started with a single needle, tried magic loop, tried DPNs, and then I had an idea because I saw it was those Addy Flexi Flips or Crazy Trio needles, and I realized I have a set of shorties with short cables on it. I have interchangeables, so I decided to try and see if that would work. So I made, if you will, my own little short, they're not real flexi flip shorties, but they are interchangeables with the actual size needle on one end and a smaller needle on the other, because I saw that recommendation also, and it's easier on my hands, which means I can do half a round before my hand starts to hurt instead of a quarter of the round. But I'm almost done with the ribbing, which means I can go to a bigger needle, which should be easier on my hands also. That is also old yarn. And I mean old style. It's, I think it's a sheep cheese, but it's really, really old. I mean, this thing doesn't even have yardage on it. It's that old. But it's wool. It works. I will have that done hopefully by the end of the month. Or sooner, because it was a test knit. But that's what I'm working on and what I've done. This is Stephanie for Lefty Crochets and Mirror Knits. And I'll see you next time.